Hey guys, JT here with another unboxing. This time I'm bringing you the ZD Racing. This is the ZMT-10, but this is actually a brushless version, and it's actually the 9106S. Now, I got this because this is the updated version to the version 1. So this is kind of more or less a version 2 of this. So basically you're getting a brushless truck for under 200 bucks shipped. So I got this from Gearbest.com, and I'll put some information in the description if you guys are interested in purchasing this and also checking out, because there are some specials and deals that Gearbest continuously has on. So if you guys aren't on my social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and stuff, you might want to go ahead and sign up for those. I'll try to remember to put links in the description. I always said about you, sometimes forget. Or follow me on there, or go follow Gearbest, because they periodically have specials, and you can get this stuff at pretty good deals. It's shipped off at pretty cheap prices as well. So, you know, it's going to take about 5 to 7 business days or so to get it, give or take. Sometimes it may take a little bit more. It just kind of depends. But they stepped up their customer support some, because I've seen some information and looked at some forums about people that have had certain issues with cars and stuff, and you know, they've been good with their support. So I haven't currently had any issues with cars where I'd have to contact support with it, and my shipping has, like I said, been between 3 business days. Sometimes I'll pay a little bit more, or sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Like this was about 8 business days or so, but it's fine. I want to show this to you guys, and I also want to kind of explain some of the things and the differences with it, because I never had a version 1, but I know this version 2 has a metal chassis, but we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Some of the things in here, and I'm not sure what the version 1 came with, but this does come with a slipper clutch. It looks like it's got dual pads on it. I'll have to check that out just a little bit. It's full ball bearings, a brushless system. I'm not sure of what kV the motor and stuff is, but let's go ahead and pop this baby open, because you guys know I love the smell of a new RC car. So this is going to be the radio here. We'll put that over to the side for just a minute. We'll pull this truck out. Oh, something came out over there. I just have to see what that is real quick. Charger and instructions. Let me see what this is real quick. Okay, so real quick, the little back part of the shock piece, this right here, just kind of popped off there. So I just popped that back on. So that's kind of what popped off and flew over there. So, oh, look at that suspension. I'm going to have to do some adjustments on there, because the front's like higher than the rear. Let's check out something real quick. Yeah, so you can adjust that. So I'm going to lower that down some, because it's kind of sitting lower in the rear than it is in the front. I kind of want that to look even. So anyway, let's kind of see what we got over here real quick, and we'll take a look at the truck in a minute. You get a 2.4 gigahertz radio. You got your steering trim and direction, and then you got your throttle trim as well, and then steering dual rate, which is good. And this should use 4 AA's. Yes, 4 AA's. So no more 8 AA radios. I don't think I've ever gotten one. I think Red Cat used to include that with a lot of their kits. And then you do get a charger. This does come with a LiPo battery as well. So I'm hoping that this has an adapter and doesn't just have the European style plug on there. So no, there's no adapter in here. So I have an adapter if I was going to use this. It just plugs in right here, and then you can plug it into kind of the American outlet for there. And there's there's not one in there. So that is one thing that you're going to have to think about, is when you get this, even though it does say it comes with the charger, oh, look at my body right here. Yeah, we're going to take a look at that real quick, because that's kind of bent up. But with this, if you think about this and you see it's ready to run, you're going to have to either get an adapter for this or buy a charger. So I'm not too sure of where you can pick adapters up for that, but noticing right off the bat, you see this body's, excuse me, kind of folded right here. So I'm gonna contact Gearbest on that to see about that, because that's kind of folded in there. Make sure the other side isn't folded in. No, the other side is not. So, and this kind of sits high in the front, so I am gonna have to do some adjustments for this. It's really high in the front. So in this version, or this newer version, Yeah, I think that this may need some adjustments to it because this wheelie bar, I think the version 1 did not come with the wheelie bar, but this version 2 does. So, but you see how this is kind of rubbing here on the body. So I'm going to take a look at this a little bit more. You guys know that regardless, when you get a ready to run car, you need to look it over before you run it. You can't just take it out and run it because there's things that could need to be adjusted. Wheel nuts need to be tightened and stuff like that on it. So do they put this together? I'm wondering if the front shocks are in the rear and the rear shocks are in the front, because that's sitting pretty high there. Sorry, I'm moving this around a lot. I'll have to measure those. If I don't know if those are the same width or not, but it seems like the shocks may be reversed. I'll have to check that out and see. I'll let you guys know when I get my first run up. But knowing with this one, part of this version 2 update is, of course, as I showed you guys earlier, is the wheelie bar, and then it's got this aluminum chassis. I mean, this thing's like $180 and you get all that with it. And it does come with a LiPo as well. I think it's just a 2S LiPo. They got this cover that they put over, which the version 1 did not have, which helps protect some of your electronics and stuff in there. Now, how that lets that breathe, I'm not sure, but this sticking out here, I've seen this before, like on some of the HPI Bullet series, the MT and the ST, but it's actual cover where it's like 3 pins. You take those 3 pins out and then you remove it. But with this one, let's see, it's a 2400 milliamp. With this particular one, get that out real quick. You just 1 pin and you close that up right there. So let me see if I can get this battery out real quick. Alright, so it does come with a 2400 milliamp 2S 25C LiPo battery. You guys see the connectors are done a little bit differently. Sometimes they'll have the ones that the bullet connectors will stick straight up. But for this particular platform and the way the battery slides down up in there, they had to kind of change that style with that, which is fine. I know a lot of people, when they get these, they talk about particular like that plastic right there. You have to cut that away in order to fit this third cord for balancing out your LiPo batteries and stuff in there. But it does come with a LiPo. I mean, this is kind of a light feeling LiPo, 2400 milliamps. This is enough to get you out and get you running. I know that ECX includes LiPos in their 2-wheel drive cars and their 1800 milliamps 20C. So, you know, 20-30 bucks more, you get a 4-wheel drive truck that comes with the LiPo as well. So that's a good thing they do include this in here. So looking inside here real quick, this is actually concealed in here pretty good. Now, like I said, I don't have a version 1, but I've seen it on there. And in version 1, it seemed like with this version 2, they did a kind of a complete redesign on some things, including the metal chassis and this plastic that actually comes over top of it. And you guys see the slipper clutch in there. And that is actually, if you guys can see that, that's pretty interesting too. That is a Metal Gear spur gear. I believe the version 1 had plastic, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if those are 48 pitch gears or the point, I think it's 0.6 or something that like Tamiya uses on their kits, and so does Red Cat. So I'll have to check that and see, and I'm not sure which pinion gear comes in here either. So with the motor, that kind of stands out. It got like that little oranges gold color to it, but I'm not sure of what kV this motor is either. So I have to look in some of the specs for it as well to see the kV rating of the motor and the speed control. The speed control is probably like a 60 amp speed controller or something like that, because this can probably run 2 and 3S LiPo. So another thing to note on here as well is this does not have hexes on it. This does have Phillips head screws, so you will need that to operate on here. And there aren't any tools included with this. Let's just make sure. Nope, they give you some double-sided tape and then the instruction manual. So there aren't any tools in here. There's a zip tie right there too. If you were going to work on this would be your first RC car, you needed like a tire tool to work on or to get the tires and wheels and stuff off. So speaking of tires and wheels, this compound, it doesn't feel too bad. Actually, it feels pretty good. It doesn't feel too hard and plasticky like. So, and it doesn't feel too soft where this is going to balloon. So this may actually work for running this out and running in different surfaces and areas and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to have to measure these shocks, because you guys see how that's leaning up at an angle towards the front like that. So because these shocks may have been put on reverse, or I may just need to adjust the mounting holes for the shocks there. So looking at other things, looking at this bumper, I know sometimes when you see this type of bumper, some of them have this to where if it actually impacts on it, it actually moves in there. I know some of the ECX trucks And the Force RC kind of has that type, but this one doesn't, to where this actually moves in to absorb some of that impact. Wheelie bar is not adjustable. There are ball bearings in there though, so that's pretty good. I think those are ball bearings. It spun like ball bearings. It seems like ball bearings, right? We'll check that out too after we get this running for the first time. It does have dog bones in the rear and looks like CBAs in the front. So that's another good thing. It does have adjustable turnbuckles and stuff on there, so you can adjust that. Plastic body shocks, but with an aluminum capping over the plastic shock cap, so that's going to keep these from exploding out. If you jump and hit a ramp the wrong way, and the shock cap won't actually pop off and you have shock wool everywhere. So the shocks do have oil and stuff in them, so that's pretty good too. So guys, it's just a look at this. I wanted to show this to you. I'm going to look this over and definitely adjust these shocks, because I do want this to kind of sit more level like that instead of sitting up like that. So I'm going to also contact them about this body and just let them know I got this body, and it's kind of looks like it's melted there or something. So, but anyway, guys, if you have one of these, if you have a version 1, let me know. You saw some of the differences in this one compared to the version 1. I'd like to hear some of your thoughts on that, and I'll get this thing up and running really soon. So as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.